Finally, Eldlich gets a decent run back for some regionals. We saw branded Eldlich showing up out of the Columbus regional a couple of weeks back here, but finally it locks down another regional win. Maybe the format still has room to grow. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Your Lima, Peru regional breakdown is here, and Eldlich holding down a very, very, very strong first place finish here, tying itself with Sprite in terms of representation. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that this is very impressive to say the least, where you get the chance to see, you know, power contenders like this duking it out, and it looks like somebody finally figured out the formula to Eldlich. We also had a Sword Soul in Top Cut, which Sword Soul has been kind of struggling to maintain a footing in the modern format. So I think that that's a particularly good thing here, where we can still see that holding on. We also have Dragon Link, Flaunderies, and Mathmech still maintaining its hold as one of the stronger rogue decks out of this format. Still surprised to see it doing so well, but alas, here we go. So we're going to pass on over to some top deck list. Winning the regional, as I just said, was Eldlich here with the branded package fully built in with none other than everybody's favorite Mystic Mine. I think that seeing something like this, you know, get a turnaround here on the metagame, you know, the best of skill drains, the best of Mystic Mines. I know it looks, you know, toxic to some players out here, but like, this is different. It's a lot better than watching, you know, a Sprite player gas through their entire hand here and having people go, oh, you know, like, that's so fun. Let something different exist within the confines of the format. I also like the fact that this deck has an emergency plan with Winda in the extra deck. Like, sure, man, you can go ahead and set up a branded fusion to level out that interesting little play. So I guess the more that you can do with Eldlich, but you can definitely tell this deck pulled all of the best countermeasures from your established metagame in order to hold on for dear life here. Now, interesting enough, second place was Sword Soul. Sword Soul tore through what other competition for sprites was really existing here and came out on a second place domination, which I think is very, very good at the end of the day here. When you can see like a dramatic shift in things to like previous format here on a rollback, I think that's pretty impressive overall. I see we have Final Sigma in here as well, continuing to do what he does best. You love the fact to see when decks can take advantage of something like that in order to establish a boss monster. DD Crow's in here, and then of course we've moved the Rivalries to the side deck now. Even though Rivalry has been dubbed a very, very powerful card, in my opinion, just for what it wants to do, you can tell that players don't want to mess around with the level of power with this sort of stuff at this point in time. So overall, okay, you love to see it, ladies and gentlemen. So second place looking pretty straightforward here in terms of breakdown. Next up here we have third place Sprite. Now all Sprite decks pretty much look the same to me at this point, though this build is opted to play your E-Tully package, so you can bring out Gamma and you can still have the active one in your hand. Also acts as a tuner if you really care about it. We're playing double talents in the main deck, which is fine. We have Ghost Ogre as a one of, because we're playing double cross it doesn't. I actually think that's kind of interesting, the fact that we've opted to play Ghost Ogre in this. I also love the fact that, you know, Owl Mirage protection in case your opponent tries to get cheeky and, you know, go after your field. We're also citing the third cross out. We're playing double Appointer with triple dimensional barrier with one trap trick. That actually flex trap trick. I mean, technically you're playing 3 Appointers at that point, with trap trick being built into the main deck. I also see that we have evenly matches in here as well to disrupt the opponent, and of course IP Evermax sticking around as the go-to call by a lot of players here. All right, next up here we have fourth place Eldlich. Wow, Eldlich definitely held on to 2 power spots here. One interesting thing I will say about this list is we do not have the Shadal package that we saw first place packing into its list. We're also, what, 23 trap cards, so we're still doing the same thing. Our Fallen of Albaz package is pretty standardized as well. 1 summon limit in the main deck also. That's kind of cool, I suppose. I also see that we're bringing in the balls to slow down the opponent in case of any sort of degeneracy. You do love the fact that Eldlich has just become one of the best go-to roster mode ball decks in the format, because they literally don't give two craps about the normal. So if you draw your Fallen of Albaz, you're just like, okay. It's just variance at its finest. Outside of that, you already know why this deck's doing good. Skill drains, goes and matches. Floodgates. One of the favorite terms that Yu-Gi-Oh! Players out here are so scared of. Alright, 5th place here is Dragon Link. So you do see that we are playing the Punk package in here. Do not underestimate playing the Punk package in Dragon Link. I know a lot of players like, the Punk package at some points can take away from what the deck does. It also makes a free synchro package, alright? Hello? Being able to make, Baron with, for free? I don't know why you really wouldn't want to do that. Griffin Rider plus that is an emergency option. Okay. You have all of these good engines that are pulling together and giving you the chance to do things within the confines of the deck. Hello? It's just... looking at the power and things that you get with Dragon Link right now, it's such a crazy deck at the end of the day. Your toolbox options are still there. The right package is just so darn good. It's one of the best toolbox decks in the modern era format. So I'd say you love to see it, but yeah. Next up is our Flaunderies Duelist here. Now we're playing a singular pot of extravagance in the main deck. Well, that's the first thing that I just think feels very, very strange, but I guess I understand in terms of deck build and the way that you're constructing. Having an option tree to do that is fine. It's basically 4 draw cards. We're playing 1 Mystic Mine in the main deck, no additional in the side deck. We're also playing Trap Trick down here with the Harpy's Featherstorm. That's actually kind of interesting. I don't know if I would have given much of a consideration to that. Technically having 4 Harpy's Featherstorms with, if you're bringing in Evenlies and things to rotate, the card definitely works to your advantage on both levels of that. So, that's definitely interesting at the least to give some consideration to. Why has nobody really tried Trap Trick? Maybe they have, maybe I've missed it, but alright. Next up here is our MathMac deck. Yes, MathMac OTK. I don't have a lot to say about this deck. This deck is going to be your king of breaking boards. It doesn't care what the opponent really tries to do. Your job is to smash through, set up your bigger plays ASAP, and then detour the opponent and not give them really a chance to play. Unfortunately, that's honestly just the best experience I can really say while playing MathMac. Big boss monster win game, effectively. I also will say that just 1 equation, 1 superfactorial is fine. We're playing the 1 induction in the main deck, which is fine. Of course, you still have your update, transcode OTK shenanigans, which tend to be the best go-to options for this deck. Do not underestimate an access code Togger 5300 that can swing twice. That will ruin players' days. All right, trust me when I say that. A lot of players get very put off when they see that. 13th place here is none other than, yes, we have a Salamangreat deck. Finally, Salad has been struggling out here in order to kind of keep up with the modern era game. And I think it's interesting when you overall look at how Salad's story's going. We're not even playing Rage and Roar in the main deck. That's how bad it feels to be a Salamangreat player at this point. The deck just has so many issues at this point that I don't think it really knows how to capitalize and hold on to its presence in the metagame. But nonetheless, we're still doing all of the code talker stuff that you want to do, the heat soul plays in order to filter. The deck still feels very, very normal for what you would say for this point. As we continue on here, we have ye old Rika Sun. Now, we're not even playing the Thurion package in this. We're just taking advantage of the Rika package now with the Sun Avalon stuff to capitalize. The Sun Avalon package always will now feel like your basic best go-to backing for plants, just because it gives a solid foundation for what the Rika stuff wants to do. You also get to link climb up through some of the best, gosh darn, plant support that you could ever have. And of course, you know, like the Thurion stuff is good for what you want to do, putting up Omni Negates, but it does slightly clash with the Rika stuff in terms of locking you into plants with the field spells. So just seeing this deck get top 16 out of this regional, it definitely is a top 16 contender for sure. So I'm glad to see that we did get another plant deck out here taking off. Hey man, I think plants are one of the more solid choices out here in today's format. And we also have another Salamangreat deck. That is 2 Salad decks that we know of that placed within the top 16. Now the differences between this Salad list and the previous one here is you see that difference of inclusion of trap cards. You know, the previous list did not want to play Roar Rage in the main deck, which I can be understandable, all right? I guess they can lead to some bricks, or, you know, they don't really help your beneficial game plan going first or second. So I guess you gotta shift the gears a little bit there in terms of what you want to do and decide what your game plan is. But outside of that, this is like the only real place that we've seen Salamangreat have success out here. And I still think overall that the deck does challenge some of the norms out here for what you want to see. So that is your breakdown for the Peru Regional from Carlancho Store. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.